Hello, folks. This is Detroit Miracle, and good morning. Well, I have another exciting topic for all of you. So, ready or not, here it comes. Do you notice that in society, there always have been and is now a select number specifically of rich people as well as people living comfortable but not yet rich and people that are poor and impoverished? Do any of you study history a bit? Well, I do, mostly from watching historic programs from time to time, but not all the time. Yeah, like when I watch a lot of those old movies about things like Spartacus and the Roman Empire, I notice that there is a specific low number of incredibly rich and prominent people as compared to people that are living comfortable enough. And at the same time, there seems to be a lot of poor people. That is what they've depicted in films, like including movies like Jesus and Moses. Yeah, I noticed that. Like back then, there's usually a king, a queen, a pharaoh, the pharaoh's inner circles, maybe some wealthy landowner here and there, then a lot of poor people or poor slaves. Yeah, that is seemingly portrayed and has been shown in just about every older historic type of film that was documenting some type of truth that occurred hundreds of years ago or thousands of years ago. Okay, now skip ahead and you see how society is now. You will realize that in fact it has always been that way. Yeah, that is a tradition that has been carried through for many eons on this world. And it's crazy because if people in general are not evil, deceitful, bad persons, then why should they be poor? Why can't they live a comfortable enough life? Or why can't they live a comfortable, happy, enriched, luxurious type of life? I mean, this of the whole entire population in general. If it's 7 billion people on earth, then minus the real devious, evil, mean type of people, and then it should be at least 6,500,000,000 people living incredibly comfortable. Yeah, I think the majority of people are good as well as are intentionally, inherently good. It's just things are out there set up to corrupt people and send them in another direction. Yeah, that is my perspective on people being incredibly comfortable, being just comfortable and not being comfortable at all there. I feel as though the majority has a right to be incredibly comfortable and successful. But it seems like because of tradition, it is not set up that way. I'm thinking, why? It doesn't make any sense where you take a small specific number of people that are incredibly rich, incredibly so, immensely like enriched, wealthy, and have so much nice things, and then you have other people that have middle class status who simply have very good jobs and can move to nice communities. And yeah, these type of people in the middle class can afford to take trips and buy their cars and buy their house outright, but they will not be like a incredibly immensely rich person where they could just buy mansions, palaces, penthouses, skyscrapers. And then it gets far worse than those two selective categories of people because you have dirt poor people who might be making $200 a week from a check. And in some cases, or many cases, they don't even make that. Yeah. And why in this society with so much wealth and resources to go around evenly, why can't people be evenly comfortable, rich, happy, successful, wealthy, as to establish a type of global utopian society? Look, people, the majority of people that commit victim crimes are poor. So if they wanted to remove and eliminate 100% of the victim crimes, then why not make everybody comfortably, immensely wealthy at the same time? I mean, it's people that kill people anyway, but they are in the small majority. Whereas you will have where a rich person would murder somebody, it doesn't really happen often. But when you see all the victim crimes, the robberies, the theft, the murders, the pickpocketing, the drug dealing, it usually involves people who are not rich or comfortable. So they are out there trying to become something that they are going about the wrong way to become. Yeah, I'm not making excuses for people that commit crimes. Yeah, it's wrong. We know it's wrong and there's no excuse. And then at the same time, it's not worth taking a penitentiary chance for. It's better to be poor out here and free than to be completely messed up in prison with nothing and then being confined in an enslaved type of way. Yeah. But it's slavery and freedom such as this. And it's slavery when you are poor and broke. And I think that is why they maintain that tradition where there's a large number of people in the billions who are poor, and then there are a large number of people, but not of that type of immensities, who are comfortable, which are the middle class, and it's an even smaller number of immensely rich people, because I think they maintain a slave population in order to keep people under control and to limit people's power. Yeah, poverty is slavery too. Like if you don't have any money, you can't travel, you can't get good legal defense, you know, hey, in some cases, you can't even get out to vote. So when you think about all the things that are restrictive regarding being poor, then you would come up with a whole list of it if you care to make that list. But I think it's like a society made that way, of sort of like a king and queen society where like there are a lot of kings and queens who are comfortable, but at the same time, there are a lot of people that are suffering, which will be looked at as their subjects. Yeah, and it's kings in a political system too. Chances are, if you find a rich or if you find a powerful political figure who is elected to office, chances are they are rich anyway, in some cases and in many cases. And when they get out of office, they are definitely going to be able to be rich by doing public speaking engagements where they might make $300,000 a whop for every speaking session that they do to the general public. They're going to be able to write books and memoirs that are on the bestsellers list to sell millions of copies. Yeah, I know that's another thing, but that's also my take on it too. Poverty is slavery, and in order for the quote unquote rich and prominent people to feel like they're maintaining order is to ensure that a large number of the population stay and remain poor in an impoverished condition. But the rich and powerful are saying, look, but we can't do that to every type of classification of persons, and we can't do that to everybody. So let's create a middle class where there are going to be a lot of people making a lot of money on jobs, or they might be small business owners that are living comfortable enough and not in the category of poor, but those such middle classers won't be rich in our category. And with that being said, they will become like a sort of type of slaves because they will desire to be rich and far greater than what they are actually at that time or at this present moment. But that few of them will become rich, but still they will live a comfortable life. But through the search for greater power and greater wealth, you'll have slavery that way because it will also divert your focus and you will just be thinking about money all the time and obtaining more of it. But if you are rich, you're already there. So, when you're rich, you just worry about keeping the money and making even more of it. Now, when you get to the poor, if you're poor, you're all messed up. It's a total struggle because you're not even in a middle class living comfortable and you're definitely not rich. So you're furthest removed from that of those both classes, being that of middle class and rich or the high class, whatever the hell they call them. Now, if you're poor, you are dependent on political officials to make it happen for you and to improve your social conditions. So you become dependent. So that's slavery too. If you think about it, it's intricate in the way things are set up, but it's simple as well. And it's not that much complexity to it, or it's not complex as you would believe it. And if it was evenly so where the majority of the population were comfortable and wealthy, then they would be more self-sufficient and less dependent upon others. Like everybody wouldn't need jobs any longer. Everybody wouldn't be required to vote on a political candidate because they wouldn't need them. And I touched on some of these other things in other videos, like as far as like dependency on the political parties and slavery to extents and degrees of it, but not in so many words as I have done now, or not in these type of references that I've just stated currently. But, if you go out there and gather intel and research things that I've said and research things on your own, there are all types of books and texts out there everywhere, then you will know that I am not making this up and I am not crazy. Yeah, folks. Well, it's been fun again. So I'd appreciate it if you would give me those likes, comments, and please subscribe to my channel, Detroit Miracle.